Hello, welcome my bold bearded friends. In today's video it's time again for another Varanti fragrance review, and this will be the Oscuro Sport. As of course with all the Varanti fragrances, this is a real cheap one. I bought this one at the Action store here in the Netherlands for about, I can't remember what I paid for it, but probably something like €4. And it's a bottle of 100 milliliters. And as you can see, it's too reflective, I guess, but I put the name on it with a black marker, for the name isn't on the bottle. Alright, I have the deep dry down on my right hand, so I will spray it for the opening. The top notes I will spray it on the left hand. And I also have a comparable fragrance sprayed on my right elbow. Let's start off with the top notes. And it's quite hard, for you can't really find anything on this fragrance. If you look it up, you can only find the sales pitch of a real cheap fragrance, as this one is of course, and saying something like, mostly in German actually, but translated it's something like a very manly, everyday scent, spicy, although it's not that spicy, but later we'll talk about it. Yeah, so it's quite hard to find anything on this wheel of fragrance. Actually, talking about the packaging, it's quite funny. It's like a tire of a car or some sort. Opening the top notes of this fragrance, it opens up with a faint, and that's really what this whole fragrance is. It isn't really a pushing fragrance. It's more like a cloying, warm fragrance. It opens up with some spices and some sweetness. So I think that it opens up with some cinnamon, some cloves, some, well, let's call it some artificial sweetness underneath it, which is not really easy to determine what it should be. And the faintest bit of a little bit of citrusiness, and it smells quite cloying. The dry down, and given this is the dry down of about an hour, and it's real faint. It has still has some spiciness to it. The cloying sweetness really didn't fade away in the meantime. And sniffing this part, I actually smell the fragrance I will use as a comparison to it over here way more than putting my nose literally on the spot I sprayed it at, which really says enough, I guess. If the dry down of not even an hour, I have to really put my nose in it to smell it, and I smell a fragrance all the way over here way more, that says enough about the fragrance. So it isn't really lasting at all, and really isn't projecting that much. But still, in the first like 5 minutes of the opening then of this fragrance, the top notes you really smell, it actually does have some projection, and that's in a way quite a nasty marketing technique, I guess, that you go into the store, you spray it on, you think, no, it's spicy, it's really generic, really, but spicy, there's some sweetness. Oh, okay, let's try it out. And you buy it, and then even before you leave the store, it's gone. All right, and I compare this fragrance a little bit to Burberry London for Men. minus of course the port wine note. But I think if you lose the port wine note, which really is the main note, of course, the most important note in Burberry Brit London for a man, and you make it way weaker and way more cloying, then you get the kind of spicy sweetness, I guess, that this one has. Well, we already went over the longevity and projection. Not really that existing. Perhaps if you spray like 10 sprays, it will last longer. You got more projection, of course, but still the kind of fragrance this is, it's just not a high performance fragrance. And you also really smell the differences in quality with virtually every other fragrance. And yeah, so be aware. Of course, there are some reasons you might want to have a real cheap, not long-lasting fragrance like this one. Perhaps a day to the beach, or I don't know, if you ever have the need for a not long-lasting fragrance, this very well could be a very nice one for you. So comment down below if you tried out Varanti Oscuro Sport. And if so, comment down below. And if you want to see more videos on the Varanti fragrance line, check out the video now on screen. Have a nice day. Ciao.